Thank you for the lurky. Hi. I turned off my compressor, so if I sound like I'm talking out of a tin fucking can, everybody knows why. Also, hi Yoru again. And thank y'all for lurking. Drinking a little full up here. Also, I'm cold now. I'm not gonna be for very long. I'm gonna start getting sweaty as hell, but. I gotta score to get me a. I think he's just getting. Dinner? Dinner. Dinner? Tomorrow? Yay! Why am I so bright? Hold on. I'm just a little curious. Am I gonna look that bright? No, I don't look that bright. Turning down the Elden Ring audio because I was rewatching that last Elden Ring VOD to make clips. The shit's loud! Shit's louder than me! What the fuck? So, it's getting turned down. Hi Nico, how are you? Okay, so my game crashed last time we played. So let's see how much progress I lost. Hopefully not too. Because if I did lose too much, you're gonna watch me cry. Boop, 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 boop. Hi, Gore. Gore, are you getting dinner? Oh, I'm in here. Nice. I'm doing pretty good. Breaking boxes. You know how it is. That box was floating. We're just not gonna talk about that. Alright. I don't know why I did all that. Fuck this guy. Fuck him. Fuck his marketing opportunities. Whatever. Oh, you're in line. Don't text and drive, sir. Oh, I can't break that? Alright, watch out for trap. Whee! Woo! Woo! Ooh! Ouch! Come here! Did I kill that guy? I didn't. I didn't. Ow! God, he reloads those fast. Oh fuck, was I trying to get my soul? No. I already did get my soul. I'm not driving, I'm in line. Same diff. You gonna shoot? Fine, buddy. Here we go. We all know you want to. Hey, guess what? Okay, so I know two-handed swings does more damage. Like 5 more damage, I think is what somebody said last time. But I also know that it does use stamina. So, okay, do I have to get past this one night to move forward? I don't want it. I fucking hate this. I don't? How else do I move forward then? Do I get something good if I kill him? Oh, by the way, I have that Sari bot now, so I can see when ads are happening, so I know better than... talk about serious things. Put the wall back behind me. Can I go through that? Here? Oh. 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 Oh God. Bro is stuck in the door. Bro is stuck in the door. I'm gonna get him. What's up, blood? Oh God. This is not the most honorable way to win, but you know. Oh, I missed. Is stream lagging? It shouldn't be. Oh, move. Move! Yeah, exactly. I'm not here for honor. I'm here to win. And I have won. God, there's another. Is there another one in here? Well, anyways, I got the chest, so... I feel like I'm hearing footsteps. Loud footsteps. So there's definitely another one in there. But you know what? Nothing to me. Ah, God. Alright, Gore said there's a hole in the wall somewhere. Oh, this hole. I see. Oh, God. Oh, fuck. Ow! You asshole. Oh, it just keeps going. I see. Oh. No! You will not be knocking me off. Not today. Did I kill the guys in that room? Yeah. Well, I killed one of them. I didn't kill the other one. I know there's another one. I could hear him walking. Not where I just was. Totally is. What the fuck? What the fuck, Rich? Yeah, see, I know there's another one in here. I can hear him burping. But I don't... Sorry, that ghost scared the shit out of me. I don't know where. I cannot... Fire. Raise the talisman. Yeah, I got the talisman. I got the talisman? What else is going on? I feel like I hear somebody else walking around. Oh wow. Oh, there's more up. Oh. That's what I'm hearing. Is from more up. I did get a key. Is that for in here? Wait, I got a key? What? Where did I get a key? Oh. Hold on. Kinda curious. Is that as up as it... No! There's a dude there. Okay. I busted that barrel. Oh! Sure did get a key. Up we go. Up, 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 up. I'm not running anywhere just because I don't know this place well enough to feel comfortable running anywhere yet. Oh! Okay. Alright. Well. That was rude of you. But whatever, I guess. Hey, you know how I said let's go this way first? I regret that. Because truly, what the fuck was that? There. Here's here. Wait. I feel like the fact that I got butt fucked is probably a sign that I passed something I shouldn't have passed. Oh! Oh, what the fuck? I see. I was supposed to jump over that. I get it. That was on me. I didn't see the hole in the floor. That was on me. What the hell? Yeah, pro gamer moment. There's a hole in the floor. And then somebody shot me with an arrow. Haven't quite figured that one out yet. Hi, Ronan. I'm good. How are you? I'm not even gonna attempt to jump because I'm doing good though. Take a sip of my drink. God, it is so yummy. I love smoothies. Anyways, that fucking hurt. Did I already drink? I did. Alright, well, that's my last. So, here's hoping I find another place to rest soon. Bud. Mushroom. Cake? Cooking dinner? Ooh, what are you making? I'm starving, so... Is the mushroom a necessary item? I feel like I'm in a place where I'm about to get knocked off. Oh, I hear another knight. Eat that. Well, thanks, Gore. These guys have so much health. Oh god! Oh fuck, that was my last bit of run! Hey, did y'all know I'm completely out of health? Ah! Oh. Yeah, you know what? That was probably better. Pasta and veggies with meat? Okay, that sounds good. I don't know why I did that. I panicked and decided just to jump. I panicked and said, I'm just gonna yump. I'm just gonna yump us. That was not the right call, I don't think. Hey chat, do you think you could tell me, was that the right call? No, don't call me. No. You two suck. Thanks, Screeb. I appreciate it. I got bolts. I got an exile hood. Exile the hood! Kill the men! Do not let them suffer! Oh, jeez. Oh, God. Okay. Speak up on this man! Booty fuck him kindly! It is his favorite. Just murder! Do not let him hit you! Yeah, I panicked. I don't know why I panicked, but I panicked. Alright, time for these fucking apps. We go up, and we go back. And then we go up, and then we go back. And then we run to commit vehicular manslaughter. And then we dodge very poorly. And then we shut the door, as we don't want to fuck with that man anymore. Up we go. Up we get. Up we get. Then, there's a bitch over here. Right. Problem solved with the bitch. Way. Yeah. Run upstairs and take a sip. hate these fuckers. Plan is we're gonna crouch, and when he turns his back to us, we're gonna butt fuck him. And then we're gonna pray. Oh, fuck! Hey, update. Oh god. Butt fucking? Not enough. Oh! Fuck. I overrolled. I overrolled, chat. I was so proud of killing that one. And I overrolled. God damn it. I could have done it, but I did not overroll. He is so for real right now. Do not push me off the edge! I'm going to beat your ass. Or you're gonna kill me. Oh, yep, nope, they're just gonna kill me. I don't know what's happening. I'm so mad. I'm so hungry. I probably should have waited to start stream until I ate, but I butt fucked myself. I have to get past this. Not this guy. This guy's what I. Can you go away? Thanks. Don't. Don't. Ow. What the fuck was that? Since when could you do that? No. Oh. Since when could he do that? I don't think I've ever given him the opportunity before. This fucking sucks. Yeah, I know. Tweedledee and Tweedledum over here. Gotta go up the stairs. Up the stairs. Up the stairs. Back. Up the stairs. Alright, there we go. Ow. How did you even hit me with that? You. Oh my fucking god! You blew the both of us up. The fuck? Jesus. Ow. That should not be allowed. You're getting grounded for that. Absolutely not.
Heyo.
Potter, thank you so much for the resub. Thank you for paying your kennel rent. How are you? Also, congrats on the 2 months. How have you been? Butt fucked. Get butt fucked. Butt fuck. Well, that was hell. Alright, so if I knock him down with a butt fuck, right? Hear me out, chat. Hear me out. If I butt fuck this man, I should be able to run around him, right? I don't know what's in this room. But if I can give this knight a good old-fashioned butt fuck, I should be able to fucking book it. Oh, there's more stairs. Okay, got it. Oh god. Who are you? Don't worry about me. And we're just gonna keep it going. Oh god. Great. Oh god! Oh fuck, I panicked. I panicked. I panicked, but I can do this. I can absolutely do this. That's manageable. Believe it or not, all those men, manageable. I panicked. I was also falling out of my chair. I'm doing good. Yeah, thank you. Okay, but now I know. Now I know. Because I am not fighting that man. Do you want to go, or? Okay, thank you. Alright. You wanna know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna run. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't have the time for it. Do not have the time for it. You know, maybe I should have taken some time for it. Ah! I should have taken some time for it! I'm fucked. I'm so fucked. I got stuck. Alright. Alright. We've learned, do not bum rush it. When you bum rush, you panic. Alright. No bum rushing. Today I learned. We're gonna get past this, I promise. Man, does this area just naturally suck, or am I just the worst? Don't answer that. I already know the answer. Hold on. Gotta allow butt fucking. Thank you. Nobody's ever typed out butt fucking in my chat before. Are we being so for real? I talk about butt fucking all the time. That's crazy. Yeah, no bum rushing. Only very nice, soft, gentle butt fucking. Ooh. No, there's still more. Can y'all fix that? Over here. This one. Y'all are missing. This one. One? God, fuck me. Hi, Valent! How are you? Alright, up we go. Go, 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 before she hits you. Okay, we're good. We're good. Not good. You're not stabbing me in the back again. It's not happening. Sorry. Don't have the time. Don't have the energy. I have to outrun a man. Alright, we've learned, though. Learned? Uh-oh. Rough time for you. This is a rough time for this. Why do I need... Alright. I discovered other areas of this castle today. I'm very proud of you. Me and this man are going at it. I'm tired, but okay. I'm glad to hear it, and I will do my best to remember. Man's got a fucking banging cod piece, though. Anyways, gotta go! Hey, you coming? Don't. Don't be. Alright. Roll! You fucking dumb broad! Roll! Oh! 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 Ah! Okay. Fucking heal. Woo! Oh my god. Thank you for the hydrate. And thank you for the posture check. God knows I need it. Alright, we're gonna sit in this corner for just a sec. We're just gonna crouch in this corner for just a sec. Take a sip. Yeah, I took on that gangbang like a pro. Thank you very much. I'm gonna eat my second dose of mac and cheese today. Yeah, I love the penetrate and evacuate stat. It's gotten me through quite a bit in this game. I butt ducked. Don't let duck you say that. Okay, hold on. Where's my mac and cheese? Alright, Gore just brought me my dinner. Oh. Bad things are happening in there. Nothing to do with you, though. You said there's something about an NPC here? Chat, let's hang out for a minute. How are y'all? Talk to me about your day while I sit and eat my mac and cheese. Hmm? Oh, it's hot. Oh my god. Hot mac and cheese. Good though. Very good though. So how have y'all been? Hmm? I will say, I do want to complete this game. I'm not interested in 100%ing it. As much as I do love this game, 100%ing it sounds like it's gonna stress me out too bad. I am also sleepy, Gore. We both got about the same amount of sleep. So. I am also sleepy. Anyways. What else is going on over here? Do the bosses you want and then get to the end. Yeah, that's kind of the goal. I'm not even gonna lie. Oh, you're telling me I didn't have to come out here and get butt fucked? Oh god, the lag. I thought I did. I thought coming out here and getting butt fucked was the next step. Turns out no. No, it just happens. Sometimes. Alright. I hear big boy a steppin'. Don't. Stop. It's not really a short meal. I'm just being goofy and running around because I don't want y'all to get bored. Bamboozled by the butt fucking deed. I mean, hey, I'll say it. Sounds like a pretty chill game. Pretty chill day is what I was trying to say. Anyways. Ow. Don't. Stop. Oh, wait. Well, I mean, I guess Big Boy's down there. Back. Big Boy go back? Oh yeah, he went back. He's honking down there. Can I jump this? We're about to attempt it! Oh, that was the most terrifying thing I've ever done in my life. Because if I fall down there... Oh! I'm so fucked. I will not have a butt-fuck strategy to release me from the pain of what will happen to me if I fall back down there. Huh. Ooh. Oh, sorry about the ad break, everybody. Alright. Can I have this? Oh. Cool. Great. Anyways. What's going on around here? Oh. I missed that. So you're telling me I could have had a grace? I hate it! Oh, I hate it. You're telling me there was a grace right here this whole time? Truly. The butt fucker would have become the butt fucky. I cannot stand this. Ad break is almost done. The party's just begun. You managed to avoid the ad break? I'm very proud of you. Alright, so I'm trying to get to this fucking tree. However, getting to this fucking tree seems to be a— oh! Okay. You know what? No. I did not think that those birds were real. I don't know why I thought those birds were statues. They were not. They were real birds. Man, they're even moving if you stop and take a look at them. God. Fuck these birds. Not real, they're government drones. Yeah, that's why I was surprised when you were like, oh yeah, I skipped the ad. I was like, oh. Well, good for you. I love safe spot. Exploding birds. Like, side by side. It's the best. I really hate hearing that guy walk around out there. Caption does not move. Oh, so you're telling me I jumped here earlier when I could have just gone in here. I see. I see. Oh god. Don't. Don't. Stop crouching. Don't. Leave me alone. So do I need to go up or do I need to go down? I cannot quite figure this out. Do I need to go out where the birds are? I'm not quite sure. I'm also just eating, so. God. Such a fucking kid. I'm like, I'm eating. I need to watch YouTube. As if I'm not, like, live right now. They all lead to different things? Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, and I'm, like, mega fucked. Sorry, I'm grabbing myself a chicken tindy. Asian gravy. Did you give me all the gravy, Gore? Or did they just give you a shit ton of gravy? Out of curiosity. That makes sense. Okay. So heading up. Okay. Okay, we're gonna attempt the birds because they're right here. You big fat bird bitch. Come here. Because I know how to kill these. I just have to watch out for their fucking, explode barrels. Oh! Yeah, the explode barrels. Luckily, I don't really struggle with killing the birds. It's the barrels that get me. I don't mind y'all giving me, like, an idea of, like, what's going on. Especially if I'm just like, I have no idea where I'm going, you know? Y'all are more than welcome to be like, oh, well, if you're trying to get here, this would be the next best place. I'm breaking all these barrels. Case. First wind wolves, now fucking kamikaze bomber birds. Assholes. Oh! Oh! There's another bird. Hey, did you know that I did not see that fucking bird until it was far too late to stop the bird? Yeah, who trained these birds? Who cut these birds' feet off and replaced them with knives and taught them how to use them, specifically? Jesus. Bird ahead. Fuck! You're telling me that somebody warned me and I missed it? God damn it. Angrily crunches my chicken strip. Alright, let's see if this is the place I get stuck in next. Friend ahead. You know, I don't believe you. Crazy. But I don't. I don't believe you worth a damn. Friend ahead my ass. I just want to get to the Erd tree. Jumping off ahead, and then behold, shortcut. I feel like, bestie, unless I am on the horse, that would kill me. And I can't be on my horse. So... I worry that you're a liar. Also... Oh, God bless me. I also am noticing that's a little hazy over there. Is that like a side boss? And I'm also noticing, thank you for the blessings. I guess I could go through that door. They walk down that way. If I'm on the ladder, will they know? Okay, good, as long as probably they don't. Bet. Thank you for the blessings. I'm gonna eat a chicken tender while I wait for this big fucking bitch to... Big bitch and his twink boyfriend. Get out of here. Real barren twink hours. Oh god, Popeyes is just delicious in general. Right out there. Sorry, I don't want y'all to jump me. I don't think you will. You're just hanging out in a church courtyard, but just... Go back? Why go back? Oh, I was gonna go to the altar. I was just a little nervous about it. Oh, hi.
Ah, nice to meet you.
Hi.
The pleasure's mine. Roger's the name.
Oh, it's the fucking
sorcerer,
wizard.
as you might have guessed. I'm looking for
Look it up,
little
Roger.
something here in the castle.
What are you looking for,
Well,
bud?
I'm not hot-footing it from the troops, that is.
Yeah,
But
same.
enough about me. What are you doing here in Stormvale Castle? This place is bristling with tarnished hunters, you know. They sacrifice our kind for grafting. Not exactly a place I'd stroll into without a purpose in mind.
Yeah, can I have Roger's hat? I'm here to defeat Godric, I guess.
See. Here to challenge Godric and lay your hands upon a great rune, are you? You can see it then, I take it. The guidance of grace.
Oh, I can steal his
Enjoy
hat?
it while you can.
Nice.
I'm tarnished, like you.
Yeah.
But unlike you, I've seen neither hide nor hair of this guidance for the longest time. Still, I won't forget how it felt when I first came here, to the lands between.
That's
I'm
fair.
privy to a few
Is that why I'm
magical
here, is to kill a
battle
dude named Godric?
Would you care to
I didn't
learn
know
one?
that.
As a fellow tarnished, once guided by grace, I'd love to help you out, if it please.
If it please. Oh, he's teaching me skills. Oh, I have to kill him? Well, I don't want to do all that. That man is my brother in arms. I could not have won that last boss fight without him. I can't lose Rogier like that. Pretty cool. That's pretty dope. Lead him to his death? No! He served me well. Swag over friends. No! Oh, fuck. I almost spilled gravy on my... We're good. We worship him, bud. Alright, well this is just a dead end. Which is unfortunate, because, that leaves me back out there with those fuck. His spells don't suck. Maybe your spells suck. Alright, so... Fucking what's the plan to get past these guys, then? Just bum rush them? Because there's two of them, so I can't booty fuck. You know? I can't booty fuck one, because the other one's gonna stab me. And I can't beat that fucking knight yet. I know this for a fact. I'm not skilled enough. Dodge and weave. Just roll through. Hey Nick, how are you doing? Sorry, I'm also eating dinner while I play. Steamroll them? I don't know how to do that. My clown aspect. Could run past them. Yeah, I think that's the plan. I'm gonna wait till they turn around and then we're gonna book it. We're just gonna flee. Okay. Finger butthole. No, don't worry about it. It's fine. You definitely do not need to worry about me. No, sir. Oh god. Am I still being chased? Okay, no, I think we're gonna seek something. The fuck's going on down there? Oh! What? Are you the spider that that lady wanted to offer her limbs to? Hello? I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, that's a real fucked up looking dog for sure. I'm gonna cut back through here. Oh, there's... Yeah, that's a fucked up looking dog indeed. That's unfortunate. Ooh. I don't really look at him much. Hi. Don't. I said don't. What's his front half look? Oh wait, then turn around. Stop breaking all the tables. Ridiculous. He has to pay for those. Ugh. Ugh, yeah, no, your front half's bad. I have a weird feeling I'm gonna get down there. Ugh. Definitely want to get over there. That's fast. Ugh. See, I should have played a spellcaster this time around. Only because I love the way Ronnie looks. Try keep moving. Oh, doggos? What is that? Is that like a giant they have hung upside down for the dogs to eat? That's kind of... Try jumping. Try humping. Try humping! I hear another knight. Oh, that flag scared me. Why are there so many knights? Oh, yep, see, that's exactly what I did not. That right there, y'all see that right there through that window? That's exactly what I did not. You know? Gross nasty. I feel like Elden Ring, make a version of the game. You can just run around and look at all the scenes. Like, you don't have to fight anything. Ooh. Okay, so that's how you get the chest. Oh, it's not how you get... I don't know where. On the other side. I should. That was a... Oh, hi. That's fine. Okay, so this is how you get to the chest. Got another key. That. You mad at me? You mad at me? Golly gee willikers, man. I just wanted my pickled turtleneck. Oh. Ah! That was a mistake. Run. Ugh. Dark in here. Why? Oh! Hey! Why didn't you attack me? That... okay. A little startling, but that's fine, I suppose. There is no good luck, Gore. I don't fight giant things that I don't think I can win. And he can't fit through doorways. So... it's a win-win for me. There's some shit going on out there. Ooh. Yeah, there's some shit going on out there. I want nothing to be a part of, so I guess I'm gonna have to run past the... Alright. I don't want to get jumped. But it looks like it might be my only option. Where do I need to get? Stairs over there? Grab that. And run. Up this. Oh! Fuck! Oh my god. Oh. Oh. Holy shit. The fuck? I didn't realize there were bitches in the kitchen. I know I'm not two-handing. I accidentally turned it off. Fucking praise the pickle, I guess. I didn't realize there were bitches in the kitchen. Not nice. Oh. Oh. Hey, yeah, y'all remember how earlier I said I wanted nothing, man? Am I going to be forced to have something to do with this man? We are just gonna top up. Save. hopefully employ the butt fuck method. Oh, thank God. So that we can run! Nope, that didn't work. Ow, that didn't work. That didn't work. It's a damn good thing we topped up, though. Okay. I also think there's a Grace nearby. I just have to find it. And that requires me to stop getting jumped by these things. Are you being so fucking for real right now? Go home, Richard. Go home. Leave me alone. I need to get over there. Go back to your post, sir. Oh my fucking God, he's just stand there. Oh my fucking God. He's just gonna stand there. Menacingly. Go away! Leave me alone! God damn it! Will I be able to jump that without him getting me? Fucking all way to tell. No. You're gonna go back into your little office now? Oh my God, he's so mad out there. Look at him. Nanny nanny boo boo, I'm in here. Dumbass. God knows where he went. Fucking dumb bitch. Anyways. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck, lag. There has to be a Grace somewhere. Oh, I'm down here. Look at him! Bro's broken as hell. He can't get back over. That's a new door. Oh, he's just staring at a wall. He's so sad. I really did break his heart. He really did just want to kiss. Jump in there with the fucking dogs? Yeah, no thanks. Okay. Well, this is not in here. Taking that. Thanks, asshole. I have to jump. Bugs. Hey, real question. How did that miss? Ow. do you mean best item in the game? Alright, so flesh pile. Dealt with. But I feel like gore. And feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, no, I'm not wrong. You left me with the skittering asshole. Lever. Yeah. Sure is. Where did this take me? Oh. Oh, thank heavens. Lets you transform into chairs and barrels. Okay, that is kind of sick. What do I need again? Oh, fuck. What do I need? I can't even remember anymore. My brain is broken. Need to be able to carry more, I guess. More health probably wouldn't hurt either. I don't even have enough. Fucking somehow, I don't have enough. Okay, where is... Ah, okay. I see. Circled back around. You know, I'm gonna be so real with you. I don't think this guy's very weak. Homie's got a lot of hands. Look at his shit. Oh. Oh? Guy gonna... Oh, they're gonna... They're absolutely... Alright, well, let's see how strong they are, I guess. Oh, God! I can't click anything! Whoop! God, okay. Alright. Sorry, could not click anything for a minute there. Scared the shit out of me. Pardon? Hello? Alright, you're like... Oh. That's... Ow! Bro. He's so pro right now. Item ahead? I don't think there is. Is that really all that room is for? Check on the walls, because I can't fit. Wow, that's it, huh? I thought that was gonna lead me somewhere, like, really cool. Jesus. See me? Oh, it sure fucking did. I got good items? Okay, well, I guess I'll guess so. Ah! Bitch, it's hard. Just saying. Taking a sippy sip. Motherfucker hits hard. Okay. I need... What are these items? Right. Bye. They're my only pair of pants. Um... Oh, I have two of them? I didn't even notice. Oh, I sure do. Button. Funny. It's just like those you. Are you fucking shitting my nut? Oh my god. Alright, 1 second. I gotta go get one more kill. Ugh. Alright. Come on, puppers. Here. Wanna come here? Alright, back up we go. Like, I need to up my health. This is ridiculous. Your girl needs more health. Birds are back. Peter. The birds are back. Look, this is cool and all. How the fuck do I get to the next one? That isn't the spider. I do not want to kill the spider. The man spider. Oh, I have to go to the field of soldiers. Ain't that unfortunate? Alright, field of soldiers it is, I guess. I went the wrong way. Wrong way. My bad. Went the wrong way. Let's go across. Oh, well, he's breaking. Sir? Ma'am? I don't know what your pronouns are. I'm just gonna run through real quick. Oh, wait. Hold on. Never mind. I gotta go upstairs. I just realized, once I fell down here, the way I gotta go is around you? Yeah, it's up there and kind of in the way. Yeah, I gotta go up there and you're the tiniest bit in the way, sir. No, it's okay. Okay, you don't have to get all dramatic about it. Oh boy. That guy. Hi Mocha, how are you? Hey, I wanna come in here real quick? Hello? I don't wanna get butt fucked. Come on. Ow. You know how I said I don't want to get butt fucked? Why'd you throw an arrow at me? Hey! Hey, yo! I'm doing alright. I'm trying to figure this out. It's nighttime. I can't see. I'm legally blonde. Come up here, bud. Come up here. Oh, don't do all that. Don't do all that. Come on. Come here. Okay. Out. you know how I just said it's okay? Don't kill me. Don't. Do not kill me. Not cool. Not fun. It's definitely not fancy free. Alright, who's left? Oh, fuck. Move. Excuse me. Can you maybe not with the fire blasters? Dang. Excuse me, soldiers. Ow. Yeah, once again. Not. Jesus. But yeah, no, I'm doing all right. Glad to hear you're doing good. Just, you know. That's a big guy over there. You know. It's a grand old time, honestly. Just committing mass murder. That's really it. Go up there? I don't really know where I should be going. That in the wind. Stop it. Two. Enough. So I see that there's a guy back here. I don't know if I'm supposed to go through that door, but a part of me is saying don't fuck with him. Because he's big. And you're almost out of health. But there's also a way down here that these guys are leading to. I can summon dogs, you're right. The fuck is going on down here? Alright. You've convinced me. I'll summon some dogs. We'll see what we can do. Woo! Big boy! Oh, he hits. There we go. Problem solved. Damn, that was a big boy. Why is that glowing? Anyways. There's a grace. You love that. You love when there's a grace. Yay! Bye, y'all. Thanks for coming by. Oh, we need to rest. Rest. That's not open from this side. Okay. Pull lever. Where the fuck does that take? Oh, up? Up. Question mark? I'm just trying to figure out where everything links to. Up? Up. Pots? Oh. I really don't know if I should be killing these pots or not. Like, they didn't attack me. Oh, big pot. Oh, big pot! Big pot! Weird. Just discovered. Probably should not have jumped these pots. No, don't, please. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't know any better. I'm so... Oh, and now I'm not gonna be able to get this because the pot wants me dead. Oh, why does he run like an anime girl? Look at his little walk. He's got an anime girl walk. Okay. Another Grace? Oh! We're at the boss. Okay, I see. I see. I don't see. Hold on, I just want to stab this guy real quick just because I'm curious. Oh wait, there's two guys there. Never mind, I'm not that curious anymore. Alright, so I'm imagining this one, the game wants you to go alone. So go alone I shall. But I'm not going to be happy about it. Oh, gee. I know I can summon people online, but I don't really want to. Alright. Can I use wool? I imagine I can. What the fuck is this? Cutscene? Okay, we're about to... I'm scoping out the situation. I'm scoping out the sitch. Okay, there's a dragon. Oh, is this the lion dude?
Dragon.
Okay, yeah. I remember this guy.
Thou art a true
I've seen pictures of
born
this guy.
heir. Lend me thy strength, O kindred. Deliver me unto greater heights.
Great. Yeah.
Well.
He's got the, like, I wanna fuck you. That makes sense. A lot of arms. He's kinda got a... His face kinda looks like,
Plain as a lord.
I don't remember what his name is. Damn! America, like, had some...
Command thee.
America had some fucked up babies.
I am the lord of all that is good.
Nah, actually, he doesn't really look like that anymore. His face did look specific. Hey, everybody. We're about to get jumped. Alright, and... Oh, fuck me! Oh. Alright, I'm seeing the vibe. I'm just watching the wolves fight right now. Trying to get an idea of what the vibe is. Those wolves didn't do shit. Okay. God, he is like crippled. That's fine. I'm just trying to get an idea of like what his shit is. Okay. Okay, so this guy has 2 stages. I have not upgraded my wolves. I forgot that was an option. That guy has 2 stages, right? Doesn't he rip off that dragon's head at some point? So, I need to be ready for that. I'm eating. Bump, bump. Bump, bump. Bump, bump. How do you upgrade your wolves? I totally didn't even know you could. Awesome. That little yellow tree? I'll go check it out in a minute.
Well, I took you for dead. No matter, it's lay out your arms.
Fine. Okay, so what the hell is Ashes of War? I don't quite understand. That is. If somebody wouldn't mind explaining that to me. $40 for that? Oh damn, I did have enough. Have I talked to the lady in the hut? No. The lady that gave you the jellyfish. Yes. I need to do some more research. I'm probably gonna do some more research before I try and jump that dude again. Oh. I kept talking to her until she was like talking about how she wanted to go die or whatever. But I'll go talk to her again. I know where she's at, so. Here. There she is. Oh, okay, cool, cool, cool. I didn't realize I had done that. I swear to God, if I get jumped by wolves. Hello.
A pleasure to see you. Did you give the little chrysalids the message? That I love them, and that despite my craven heart, I'm sure I'll be
God, I have so
joining
much
their
gravy.
club soon enough.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You're
What's
dead.
this? A keepsake? From my men?
Yep.
Oh. Goodness me. I can't...
Found your spider, by the way. Fuck that thing.
They all believed in me.
Yeah?
They all thought I'd make something of myself. Me, who can't do anything.
You can't.
I think I'll head to the round table hold.
You can't do anything.
Perhaps I'll find my purpose there.
Okay.
I think I'll head to the round
Oh,
table
okay.
hold. Perhaps I'll find
Now
my
she's going to the
purpose
hold.
there.
So now we gotta go back to the hole. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I forgot. I forgot you have to rest first. That's on me. I always forget that resting is the equivalent of, like, sleep. Ugh. Oh. I didn't rest. Why would she be there? Don't fuck with me! I got power god and anime on my side! Wait, Reaper, thank you so much for the raid! How are y'all? Hello, everyone! Hello, hello! How was your stream? Also, hi, raiders! My name is Peach. I am a cyberpunk dog girl who is, currently playing fucking Elden Ring, but I'm a variety streamer. I kind of just play whatever catches my fancy. Right now, that just happens to be Elden Ring.
Greetings. Nice to see
I hope y'all had a
again.
great stream.
My name is Roderica.
Y'all were playing Apex?
I should have
I've
told
never
you
played
sooner.
Apex. Is it fun?
Isn't this place impressive though? The round table hold
Sorry, I'm talking to Ranika.
covert quarters of the two fingers
Ronika.
and gathering place of champions who vie to become Elden Lord.
Lord.
I never knew the guidance bestowed upon us tarnished had such fantastic roots. Although
I love Apex.
all a bit
Apex
much
is running
for
while
me,
trying not to
in
get shot in the
truth.
back simulator.
I'm
Oh,
still
so is
looking for
Elden
my
Ring.
own
So I'd probably be
purpose.
alright at it.
Oh, and please allow me to express my thanks for giving me that keepsake from my men.
Oh
It
man.
was as if I was frozen with self-pity.
I failed them.
I failed them at
Every
every
time.
turn. You have my gratitude.
I
Please,
love mimicking
Take this.
accents in this game because everybody has a different
it's all a bit
accent.
much for me, in truth.
Who's causing
I'm
mommy
still looking
issues?
for my own
All of
purpose.
America's kids, specifically Godwin,
It's all a bit much. I'm still looking for my own.
is causing me. What the hell did this woman just get? Sorry, I was talking to chat and wasn't paying attention. The hell? Oh. Gave me a golden seed. Yeah, America is always causing. Also, I don't think this is enough, but yes, this is my first time. Well, actually, the first time I played this far in. Last time, chat dared me to beat the big horse guy that is at the very beginning, and I only played until I did that, and then we kind of just stopped. Hey, that's enough. We'll use it. Hello.
Well, I took you no matter it's all out your arms then.
I love when women their seed. Yay! Yay! Now they don't want to kill them anymore. That's fair.
It's all a bit. I'm
that
still
it?
looking for my.
Okay. I think if you rest at the grace here. I forget you can just hang out at the table. I broke the table. Oh, the chair broke. The chair broke. But why did the chair break? I was just trying to enjoy.
A pleasure to see you. Thank goodness you're safe. I'm still looking for my own purpose.
Own purpose?
It's not easy by any means.
I didn't mean to
what I must do.
destroy the furniture.
It's all a bit much. I'm still looking for my own.
Still looking for her own purpose. Talk to the blacksmith about her? Bet. I respect the classic night start. I started with a mage last time. So I decided to switch it up. Though
Well,
I will say
I took you for dead no matter
I
it's
do
out
miss
your arms.
the mage from the
Look at
distance.
the boy here.
Yeah, the girl
She's
I brought here.
crestfallen and can scarcely swing a blade.
Well, yeah.
But she has a gift for spirit tuning.
Spirit tune.
I saw another one like her long ago.
I like
Their eyes
wizards
share the
and
same
witches
hue.
usually, but you know, you make. Or stop being horny for this little Red Riding Hood looking
It's all
ass.
a bit much for me. I'm still looking.
I
You're
have your
telling
own
me I possess some kind
purpose.
of gift. I don't believe you.
I don't believe you.
But if I do
But-
have this talent, and goodness knows it would be my first.
Okay, stop shitting
I
on yourself.
suppose I should try to
Damn.
hone it, shouldn't I? I'll ask
Damn.
Master Hugh
Yeah,
to
her
teach
self-esteem
me.
is in
Certainly he
shambles.
does appear
Are you okay? Like,
intimidating
she wanted
and
to give
holds
her
no
limbs
love
to
for
a
us
spider.
tarnished. But I know he's trapped here at the Round Table Hold, so I can
Bye.
tell. He's a gentle soul underneath it all.
I mean, I'm proud of you for knowing. Can you
If
do a
I
thing?
do have a talent, I suppose I'll ask Master Hugh to.
All right.
If I do, I suppose I'll ask Master Hugh.
All right, I'm sleeping. Better know it by the time I wake up. Oh my god, I'm breaking the chairs again. This is fucking... Oh, the other chair's fixed. All right. Well. Fucking, the chairs are fine. Hi.
If I do have a talent, I suppose I should try. I'll ask Master Hugh.
Oh, fucking, do I have to ask him to do it? Because if that's the case, you could have just said that. Hugh!
Well, I took you for no matter. It's lay out your arms then.
Oh my god.
Go. What about her?
Teach her to do the thing.
Are you out of your mind? You'd
Please.
stay with an ugly brute who only
Okay.
knows how to smith.
Alright, you don't gotta be mean.
Absurd. Besides, she'd never agree to it.
You already did.
I refuse to believe it.
Well, if
I
she
don't
would walk
doubt
down
you,
these
but I know
steps
when
and
something's
talk
too
to
good
you,
be true.
you wouldn't have to refuse to believe it. Yeah, why am I the bumble for you two? Rodriga, you have legs that aren't chained to the wall. You can just go talk to him,
If I
Rodriga.
do have a, I suppose I should try. I'll ask Ma.
Oh my god. Elden Ring NPC when communication. Yeah, what the fuck is happening? Hey, good news. Oh, she's gone. Good news. Didn't shatter the fucking chair this time. Where did she go?
Well, I took you for no matter. It's all lay out your arms.
I'm gonna lay out your arms. Where
I
did you
spoke
put
with the
her?
girl. She has a gift for spirit tuning.
Yeah, I know.
So I told her everything I know.
Uh-huh.
I'm indebted to a spirit tuner I met long ago.
Did I pass her?
It was all I could do to honor her. I'm sorry I doubted you.
Oh, God. Yeah, they really do. Oh. Oh, she didn't have her red on. That's why. I was looking for red. God, she
Good
was
to
blonde.
see you again. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome,
I have
Dorothy,
you
or
to thank,
whatever.
don't I? For persuading
I didn't
Master
persuade
Hugh.
him, and I think
I
you
can
could have done it.
happily
It was
announce
easy.
That he has taught me the noble toil of spirit tuning.
I'm proud of you.
I'm as yet unsure of what I might be able to accomplish.
Yeah, you mean you can do something.
But if I might be able to help you all, and if there's any chance to ease the suffering
Oh
of
my-
my dear men who were grafted,
Grafted.
well, I certainly must
Yeah,
try.
grafted is a nice name.
Roderica, the spirit tune apprentice.
Prentice.
Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Thank God the chairs are safe from my dump truck. So true. Fuck! Hold on. I gotta go sell some shit. I got some shit
Back
in my
already.
inventory.
No matter.
I'm not laying out anything. Flops my dick on the counter. I've got some shit that I don't need. Like this this here. This. What are you buying? I also had some stuff that was like, you don't need this. But God knows where the fuck that went. Material use items. I have to go to work. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right, Gore. have to. Anyways.
Greetings. Are you here for spirit tuning?
No, I'm here just to look at your sweet little face. Additional items required. Grave glovewort? Where the fuck do I get grave glovewort? Have a good sleep. Thank you so much for the raid. Where do I get a grave glovewort? Graveyards and burial ground. Fuck! Okay. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Dogbound Creeper. I'm looking forward to seeing you again next time. Oh, I broke the table again. Oh, my tummy hurts. I ate too much. I ate too much chimkin. Tummy hurts. Oh, ouchie. Oofers. Ouchers. Hurty tummy. Fuck all your chairs. Fuck all of them. My fat ass it can't be. Alright, graveyards, burial grounds, dungeons, alright. There's some graveyards around here, I've seen. There's actually up here. For all the fucking, jellyfish are. So I'm gonna go fuck some jellyfish. I'm not gonna fuck. I'm gonna kill some. Also, has anybody tried out the closed captions yet? They should be at the bottom of of your screen, where you can where you can like make the stream big. There should be an option down there that says closed captions. I'm curious to see how well they work. I have not fucked with it yet. So if any of y'all love to be a deer and would love to test out the closed caption if they pop up there at all, I would greatly appreciate that. Yeah, so it's like on your screen where you like make it full screen. You don't see them either? Cult of the Lamb. No, not Cult of the Lamb. Weird. Alright, well, I'll have to fix them later then. It says they're enabled, but if y'all don't see them, then that means there's something wrong. Oh! Pandemonium Gaming, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Dog Pound. How you doing? Yeah, kind of weird. I'll get it figured out though before next stream for sure, so that y'all can have it. Fruit resin. Yes, captions do exist. I just don't know why it's not popping up on the screen for y'all. So. I will... No, I didn't. I will take a look around. And I will see if I can figure that out for you. So y'all can have closed captions. Not that I necessarily think y'all need it. Oh. Excuse me, sir. strange. It might be an extension we have to download because it works for me. Oh, you have it? Okay. Mushroom. Jellies. Alright, there we go. It's the glowing white flowers. Okay, bet. Good to know. Get up. Here we go. I'm also just trying to gather some stuff too. Don't touch me. Do not touch me. Hey, jellies, don't. Do prison with you. Do prison with you. I'm on mobile, so it might not work. Oh. I'll definitely have to look into it and figure it out. I just downloaded it and I really don't know all that much about it. If you're gonna be honest, the website I got it from, like, it helped me download it and get it installed. It didn't really, like, explain much besides that, so... it's a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. Let's see. More jellies. Are they only in underground dungeons or crypts, or can you also find them in... Or can you also just find them in the graveyard? Oh, it's very red. Excuse me. Jellies? Thank you so much for the follow, Thrusting Legs. Welcome to the dog pound. Sorry, I was not trying to ignore you. I'm just... easily sidetracked! When I'm getting jumped, specifically. Ugh. Gods above! And below. Ugh. Jesus. Don't get up. Don't get up. Fucking assholes. Don't get up. Oh, found a glovewort. It is right here. No. 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 Let's see if I can collect a couple of them. If I could just, these jellyfish fucking piss off. Back. They are beautiful. However, they are just kind of in the way. Just bad. Extra. Fascinating. But I hope you're having a great day, a thrusting leg. Which are funny. Alright. Come here. Ow. Don't do that. That was just mean. The only one? Yeah, I guess so. You mad at me? Killed all your sibling. And you. kill these three over here just so I can get the bonus for everything. Whee! And you too. What the fuck just hit me? Oh. Hey, assholes. Stop putting arrows in me. Stop it. I got some herba. Herba. Alright. Where's the baby's bottle? It's on the nightstand in our bedroom, but it's at the it's on the bottom. It's on the bottom shelf. Is she only eating now? She had lunch at noon. It has been 7 hours since she had lunch. Sir? For 7 hours? Oh boy. Oh, brother. You had anything else to eat since I fed her at
you here for spirit tuning?
12-ish? Actually, she ate around 1:30, but still. Alright, bumped him. Pump up the jam, pump it up. Lay your feet stomping. Okay, let's go test our upgraded wolf quick because I'm curious. I am curious. Oh. No, don't run from me. I'm gonna go out here. We're gonna test the wolves. Curiosity's sake. I still can't get. Yeah, I figured. Alright. Oh god. Nice. Whole pack survived this time. Very nice. Very nice. Or are we barricading? Very strange. Yay! Golden seed! I see. Now we're just now I'm just Hey. Don't worry about grabbing. You're not gonna. Anyways. Nice. These guys. Less nice. They're so cool to look at though. But I'm glad that they don't toggle from up there. That would make me very nervous. Plus and also. Down here always first. Whatever. Oh, there's an item there. Not really sure. I think I have to get him to smash that. Oh. Boop boop. Boop boop boop. Puppies! Yay! Dinner? Tomorrow? Yay! Guys, I've learned a lesson. I have learned my lesson. I touch all the things. I really just want to butt step. And then don't think it's gonna be. Yeah, wasn't worth it. Wasn't worth it. Oh. up, homie? Ow. That's too late, I already did it. But I killed his I killed his dudes. he's got a lot of angry feel. You know? A lot of very angry. Yeah, I can't butt fuck him. Oh. That's a problem. Okay, I need a break. My hands hurt. And my head kinda hurts. Which is kinda ass. But you know. Would I want to? I mean, maybe. Just to say that I did, you know? Oh. I need to stretch. Oh my god. Oh. Everything's popping. Okay. I don't know what I want to do. My head kind of hurts. I want to go take a bath. But I'm not 100% sure. Am I ending stream? I don't know yet. Let me check something real quick. Lesbian puzzle guide. There's not really a whole lot going on. For sure. I was like hoping that like there'd be something. But know what I can't do. I can't. Oh, background music a little loud. Sorry. Better. That bad door. All right. I have a plan. Isn't the Rocket Man. Rocket Man. Hey, the beat oh very loud. Don't be a la. And I think it's gonna be a la. Alright, we got a plan. Here's the plan. Where's my chat? Where's my fucking chat? We're gonna play Neopets for a minute. There's my chat. Slide job. We're gonna play Neopets. Mama. What's tea? Real quick. Turn on some. We gonna turn on some music. Old reliable. It is old reliable. Also, I got shit I gotta do. As you can see, though, my Neopets are not doing good. Give me all you got. Give me all you got. Give me all you got. Don't stop now. Give me to the top. You win if you do it. Out on the floor. you right in. Sorry. There we go. Much nice. All pets. And they gonna go to... Well, not all pets. Let's put... We're gonna do a month. All my bitches are... All my bitches. All my bitches are dying! All my Neopets are fucking suffering from success. So we gotta help them not suffer from success as badly. Are y'all giving it all you got? Come on, chat. Give it all you got. Oh, fuck. Sorry. I don't know. This is some stuff I've been meaning to do on Neopets for a minute. But, I have not had the time. Hey. Go to hell. Actually. The person that flooded, go to hell. That's all I've got. You know, I appreciate it. Very good, Discord. The rules are we don't put shit in our area. Okay, I have to check some stuff. Fun. Alright, so some of this shit, we just don't need it, you know? We're having a music moment. I hope that's okay with everybody. I just really need to listen to some music and, like, do something that wasn't... And do something that wasn't, like, mentally a lot. Crazy, 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 crazy. Crazy. Alright. More boobas is always good too. That's true. I could always turn on boobas. You make a good point. Ugh, sorry. I lost myself a little bit there. Sometimes you just lose yourself, you know? Wow! Rad instrument! Can we just talk about the fact that Bird Waifu is not mine? I found her in the pound. That's where she's going back the moment I turn to something nicer. Because believe it or not, right now, not much going on there. What the hell is body scrub? I don't bathe. I say like 5 minutes after I was like, I think I'm gonna go take a bath. Alright. Okay, I'm just trying to empty out some space. You know what I mean? Gilded Warhammer. Does anybody need a Gilded Warhammer? Nope, I don't. Donate. Chat, can I use y'all for luck? Maybe. Would y'all maybe be okay if I used you for luck? And did something that I probably shouldn't do? Alright, chat. Channel your luck. Give me a paintbrush. Give me a paintbrush. Give me a paintbrush. Yes. Yes. Yeah. No, I just got my money back. God damn it. Alright. I guess that's not the worst thing that happened. But it's definitely not the best either. Alright. I'm checking out the pound. I don't have any more slots left. For those of y'all who haven't seen my pets in a minute, I'll show them off. Wasn't enough luck or G? No, it's okay. It's not your... I got some pretty interesting stuff. I should probably price check these, make sure like that's still the price they are. 55, that dropped. I'll drop it then. 35. Same. Ooh, that's dropped too. Yeah, channel your chakra more. It's your fault. It's Gore's fault, everybody. Boo him. Boo him. Oof. That dropped quite a bit, actually, from when it was listed. Ugh. Oof, that's just a 5 now? We'll remove that. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Brown sauce is probably like, yeah. 9. 7900. Taken away from me, I did not promise. Did you wrong? Because if you don't price check your market, are you truly a good Neopian? The European. Yeah, that's worth nothing now. Go away from me, say I promise.
12 months, bitch.
12 months, bitch! Get it! Hi, Kay! How are you? I have so much respect for a Neopets player. Oh, thank you, because I lost all my self-respect the moment I decided I was gonna come back and make my childhood self happy. We were playing Elden Ring, actually, and then I got stressed. I got stressed and my arm started to hurt. So I took a break. We're taking a music and Neopets break. I'm showing off my Neopets. This is my baby, the love of my life. She's named after me. She is my childhood dreamy. That I never got. She's still marked as speckled because I need to get a fairy paintbrush for her. But it's the old colors and everything. I'm planning on spending more money on Neocash to upgrade her little setup. but I just haven't had the spare money in a minute. And then we're zapping her pet, so don't look. Don't look. Don't look at her pet. Don't look. It's not there yet. I started Neopets before I was old enough to go online without parental permission. Same, honestly. This is Bird Waifu. She's fucking starving. Jesus. Girl, eat. She is... Oh, sorry. She's currently my Zap pet. I'm planning on dropping her back in the pound once I zap her to something that's not Christmas. But she got zapped into a boy like 3 days ago, which just completely ruins the name Bird Waifu. So, you know. So we're trying to, yeah, it happens to the best waifus. They become femboys. It's okay. But she's my current zap buddy. This is Apollo. A friend actually gave me Apollo because I've always wanted a toy loop. Though he's probably gonna get painted to pastel just because I think it matches the name Apollo better. And then I'll zap for another toy loop because I really want a toy loop, but I just don't think toy matches him with his. But I love him. And then this is Soroctonos, his pet. The snake Apollo killed in the lore. And then I was like, well, if I have an Apollo, I need to make his sister Artemis. Obviously, they're twins. They can't be a different. So I made Artemis. And all of this is Neocash items, Neopoint items, by the way. I didn't spend a single dollar out of my own wallet for that, so very proud of myself. And then her pet is also still in the zap phase, so don't look at that either. We're zapping. I think his are all Neocash as well. Actually, now that I'm looking at him. And then this is Peach Lamo. She's based off my old VTuber model, which was a cow, which was a pastel pink cow. And my Country Girls Make Do corn background and a little picnic in the front. And she's got her little rodeo outfit because I thought it was super cute. And then I zapped this guy and he zapped into a plushie. So I love him. We haven't named him yet. Oh, actually, I did name him. His name's Fritter is what his name was. I don't know what happened, but yeah, his name's Fritter, and I thought it was cute that, you know, cow on cow action. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? On fire. And then I have Saint Owl, who is my Christmas owl. I don't know. It was Christmas season when I picked up playing again, so I was like, I'm gonna make a Christmas owl. We're not close emotionally. However, me and the Screwslin are close emotionally, so don't fuck with me. I would die for the Screwslin. I love Grooslins so much. Don't fuck with me. I used to have a Grooslin plush when I was a kid, so I'm very serious about my Grooslins. Or you don't have to pay for cow on cow action. You live with me. And we all know I have a horse pussy. Anyways, this is Shokito. I adopted him from the pound to be a Zap pet, and then I fell in love with him. So he stays. He's my little Coraline baby. And then also his pet is Spider, or Monster, the spider. So, but that's all I have right now. I want to get another one. I want to get another pet slot. But as you can see, broke. Why are y'all mooing? Did I already vote today? I did. Okay. Okay, I need y'all to know, my baby is a menace and decided I needed to be awake. I didn't mean to push that button. And decided that I needed to be awake every hour. Some hours without breaks. So, me and her are beefing right now. Look out! Also, my husband, Gore, did buy me some pins. Some Neopet pins, so I have those on my desk. I'm currently trying to get a Psy Bunny. Trying to get a Psy Bunny morphing potion. because my daughter's nickname is Bunny, and so I want to make her in here. But... what am I trying to do? I'm trying to do battle though. Look out! I'm not good at Battle Dome. Yeah, see, not good at Battle Dome. I need to like level up more, but yeah, it is what it is. Put me in Toch. Also, big fuck you to the person who bought, not the doubloon coin. Love you. To the people who bought all of my stuff with the intention of just zapping or giving it to Pound Pets. I want you dead. Okay. I've heard. I need to learn more about Battle Dome. I don't really know. Oh, that's a matchup for the ages. Okay. What it is, ho? What's up? Can you give a man so much love? Ready to pop down, pop the bud. Ready to show, baby, we ain't no rush. Sorry, I'm jamming. I want to play Fortnite, so maybe at some point this week I'll install Fortnite and I'll play. I haven't played Fortnite since it first came out, so. My balls. Oh yeah, yeah. Did I win? Is it a try? I don't know. The new chapter's about to drop? Oh shit. Yeah, I might wait for that then. My girl! Sorry. It's gonna be Greek gods themes? Yeah, that's what I heard. So maybe I'll wait. Maybe I will wait. I just have all this random shit. And none of it's worth nothing. Ugh. Oh yeah, yeah. My balls. Oh, sorry. Something about singing my balls really tickles me. I'm a menace to society. Tripping on my balls. I do love the Greek gods, so I might wait. Does anybody want an acorn yo-yo? Actually, let me go to my safety deposit box real quick. Y'all can check out all the shit I got. What's up? Oh, I've got two of these. I got multiples. Okay. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Get those out. All right. Next song. Bum bum. Get ready, y'all. Hands on my knees, shaking ass on my. Make it a private. Why the fuck you in the... Damn! Sorry. I didn't know that was worth that much. Alright, we're moving that to the bank. Because I did not know. I'm bumping up my music a little bit. Okay. That's crazy. Compared to that, I'm mad. That's still pretty pricey. Good lord. Yeah, what the fuck was this at? 9:30? Alright. Oh, stretching my arm and it hurts. I don't know what I did, but my body is acting like I was out here fucking lifting the fattest of BBLs for fun. Don't donate. Put it into the shop. Don't do the thing. I almost did the thing. I don't have a BBL. Nah, I can't afford one. Oh, fuck. I am so sore and I don't know what I did. Oh my god. Oh, did somebody buy the Fizz? Somebody bought a paintbrush. Dang. Alright. Oh, somebody bought a morphing potion. Oh, I know what you're doing. You're zapping hound pets, aren't you? Sure are. You have an 11-year-old account. Oh, yeah, you definitely are. Me and you are about to fucking fist fight. Speaking of, y'all want to check out some pound pets and see if we can find any funny names? Alright. I was checking something. Okay. Focus, babies! By Palia. Nando. Nando's a good name. Hi, Third Word. How are you? Nifulously. Nictayurble. Sweet Baba. He is a sweet Baba. Lillian Ray T. What were you? What were you? Before this. Questlog. Questlog is such a funny name. Is Munch some za? Oh, I just had some fucking Popeyes. Lady Penelope. Ladies, man. That's a name. Oh, this is a good one. Rock on Tear. T-E-R? Hollywale? I love Ogrins. They grew on me, man. Before that, I was playing expensive cardboard shenanigans. Oh no, what was that? Gotta put stick in the box. Questlog's back, baby. Kimmy cutie forever. Oh, Raymundo. Oh, Magic the Gathering. Yeah, see, I never got into that for good reason. Gore. Gore's a Yu-Gi-Oh boy. To the point where he spent all of the money he made from his first job on Yu-Gi-Oh cards and a Legend of Zelda sword. Bipper Dopper. Doper? Alright, we're back to Nando. It's not valid. It's not. He spent so much money on it. What? You did. You spent so much money on shit we did not need. Welcome back from the ads, everyone. Well, those of y'all who had ads. Sorry about them. But, your girl's gotta eat. Do you still have that deck, Gore? Or is it gone? Is it gone in the abyss? Is this like a random Neopet generator? It's the pound, yeah. It's all the Neopets people have dropped off in the pound over the years. And it's just cycling through them. I'm just looking to see if I can find any good names. I don't have any spaces for another Neopet. I would zap, but I think I already zapped today too, so unfortunately I sold the card. I think I only kept the sentimental stuff. Oh shit, I didn't know that. Did you put them in the pound? Because if your account still exists, then they're still in your, they're still at your house. I don't have a better way to word that. Oh, I forgot. My reward is not worth it today. I do have a plushie collection, but yeah, good luck remembering your login. That shit gets me every time. Ooh, big yawns from baby. I'm baby. Alright, I'm gonna play fucking solitaire. Not Sleepy Bunny, Sleepy me. Bunny kept me up all night. Is what happened. Bunny thought it would be so funny to toss and turn in bed all night. So Sleepy me. Bunny's been, her teeth are coming in, I think. I think she's got more teeth coming. And so she's just been really struggling to sleep comfortably. She cries in her sleep a lot and wakes up and wants to crawl on top of me. And then she doesn't want to be on top of me because I'm not very comfy. So then she goes and crawls on top of her dad and then gets upset because she wants to be on top of him and he can't sleep like that. And so he pulls her off when she falls asleep and puts her back in bed and she doesn't like it. And so it's been a lot of up and down, up and down, up and down with her. And she's also going through a growth spurt, so she's eating constantly. So I fed her twice in the middle of the night last night. Yeah, I know, right? How dare he? And then when I try and take her from him so he can like sleep because, you know, he works like first thing in the morning, she screams and cries because she just wants her dad and she does not want me. And I'm like, oh my god. So it's a nightmare right now in our house. And I'm very tired. I'm still streaming though. I'm trying to be consistent, more consistent than I have been in the past. I'm trying to replicate that first year of streaming that I did where I was live like 4 days a week. And it was consistent every week and I very rarely took days off. I'm trying to get back to that. So sleepy or not, I'm here, baby. Though I will say tomorrow is Gore's Friday, so I will not be streaming. Well, I might stream tomorrow. It kind of just depends. I'll see how I'm feeling. No confirmed stream yet, but if I do stream tomorrow, it'll probably just be more Elden Ring. Oh, or maybe Hades, because Hades is, I have Hades again. So maybe Hades. Take a little bit of a mental break from Elden Ring. And then I'll be off for the next 2 days after that, so I'll be off Tuesday and Wednesday because those are Core's off days, and I'll be spending those days prepping TikToks and Reels and oh, thank you for the hydrate. And that was the last of my smoothie. And YouTube videos. I'm gonna start uploading YouTube videos again. So sorry. Excuse me. I'm gonna be going through my VODs and looking for good clips and looking for good YouTube content. And I'm also planning out some new stuff for the model for us getting the new PC, which I talk about all the time, so y'all already know. But I'm also looking into getting a new mic, so I'm going to be doing some more research on that this weekend, quote unquote. My weekends are Tuesdays and Wednesdays. But I'm going to be doing more research on a new mic, and I'm working on getting, I've got a couple outfits for my model done because I really want to get a new outfit for my model this year. And I have a couple outfits designed, and I like them a lot. Like I genuinely do like them a lot. But for whatever reason, none of them feel like me. Like when I designed them, I was super excited for them, but then once they were drawn, I was like super cute. Oh Jesus. I was like super cute, love it. Not me though. So we're trying again. And hopefully I'll be able to settle on a design soon so that I can start in the works of getting it put on my model. But hopefully by the end of the year we'll have a new outfit to debut, and whenever we do that, I want to get all new layouts and everything, so we're busy over here. I'm trying to take the streaming game seriously this time around. I feel like with everything that happened last year with Bunny and the hospital and just me being pregnant, I didn't really give streaming the attention I wanted to because I just didn't have the mental energy for it, or emotional energy for it with everything else going on in my life. But I really did miss it, and I really do love streaming, and I would love to make this my full-time job. I would love to make it so that streaming supports me, so I can stay here with Bunny and be with her during the day and stream at night, you know? And so I'm really taking it seriously this time around. Kinda, like it was when I first started. So, y'all are gonna get sick of my ass with how much you're gonna see me. But it's okay. I'm excited. Oh, that was a 4. I'm dead. I was so busy talking, I wasn't paying attention. My Sekhmet Solitaire. Made a mistake. Fuck. Alright. That's as good as it's getting. Is this the Alzheimer's song? No. Oh, it's not. It's not, I promise. It wasn't. What do you mean? No, this is Shrek. No, the timing is because on my keyboard I have a way to skip music. I have a little skip button for my music. All that glitters is gold. Only shooting stars make them award. And it only gets cooler. I did not know that this was gonna be the next song that played though. So that was pure luck that it was Shrek. Oh my god. So stupid. Why do I casually have it on my playlist? It's got a little nice kick beat to the back of it. Also, I don't know, I just genuinely like the song. It's comfy. It's good for brain rot hours, like when your brain just needs to like stop. You can just have that. I want to get back into playing horror games too. Fuck yeah. I already listened to the song today. I listened to the song while I was getting set up for stream, but not me fucking triggering you. You're like, this sounds so fucking familiar. It is! It's like a fucking Winter Soldier code. You hear it and you have to like go commit war crimes or something. I'm trying to decide if I should get Helldivers. It seems like it's a lot of fun, but also it seems like I would be confused out of my mind trying to play it. And I also don't have any friends that play, I don't think. So I don't really have anybody to teach me. I mean, I might have friends that play and we just don't talk about it. But I don't think I do. I also want to get Persona 3, but I'm probably going to get that on my PS4 so I can play it in bed. I like some shooters, yeah. I mean, I played Overwatch religiously until Overwatch 2. You know. Oh, I fucked it. That was bad. I could have won that. I could have won that, but I fucked it real bad. Go, 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 go. Alright. Oh, fuck yeah. Chunky. Bum, bum, bum. I feel like my music gives people whiplash. Sometimes. I like 'em chunky. Oh, goodness. Or something, something. Say it backwards. Motor, motor. Motor, motor. See, that's why I got the dance emoji. I want to get more animated emojis. I want to get more dancing animated emojis for y'all. So y'all can pick between your favorites. I really like these, so I'll probably commission this guy again. Because I really like these a lot. And he has got some new ones out now, too. So... I always feel so bad when I always feel so bad whenever people like are like lurking and they're just listening to me in the background and then suddenly this is the shit they hear and they're not paying attention. You know? Hold on, I'm gonna try something real quick to this emote if y'all will bear with me for just a second. Your dance is my favorite by far. Aww. 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 Oh. Let me look at my emotes real quick. I'm gonna try something. Yo, big ol' heart. Okay, so I know that there's a way we can... Hold on, give me 1 second. Way. It's all in the way. It's all in the way. She do. She do, she do, she do. Okay. I'm gonna try something. Play the most out-of-pocket song that I have right now. Oh, y'all don't want that. Hold on. I'm gonna test something. Oh god, why? Sorry. Okay, I've got a new animated emote for you. Alright, I just uploaded a new animated emote for y'all. No. Look at them! Fuck's sake, fucking come on. Fucking jump at me, you piece of shit. Hold on, I gotta properly credit it to K. Alright, y'all have a new one. Yeah. Third word found it immediately. No, I have automatic uploads because Twitch trusts me. On mobile, it looks broken. Oh no! It works on PC. I see it. It shakes. I see it. I love that. Anyways, I just wanted to test that real quick. Or just use the normal one. Hit me, you piece of shit. You'll fucking stab your parents. Aw, shit. Okay, Gore asked for my most out-of-pocket song that I have right now. Ah, stupid. Come on, man. I mean, I've got this. But, I don't want to say it's out of pocket. I mean, it is hentai. I don't know. Christmas Toad is out of pocket. So true. Hi, Mark. This song is called Hentai Goddess. How are you, Mark? While we watching hentai goddess, yeah. Goddess. Anyways, enjoy your new emote. I just made that off the top of my head because I just remembered that Twitch had an option for me to animate stagnant emotes, and I think that's really funny. I think this guy's a pedophile. Sorry. I don't know. I don't listen to the song very often. But every time I do, I'm like, something about him. Something about him just feels weird. Look, Gore asked for the most out-of-pocket thing I have. This isn't it, but it definitely do be rocking my shit sometimes. Yeah, I think it's that. I think it's the I got opais on my kohais. It's just like, I don't know. Why are you looking at the opais on your kohais? Fingers in his ass. Oh my god, wait, it's Sunday. Gore! Thank you for the reminder that it is Sunday and I have to play Fingers in his ass. Hold on. One moment, please. Where is it? Alright. Fingers in his ass. Fingers in his ass. Kanye West, he likes. Oh, Squidward's nose is forever burned into your brain? Homie, it's forever burned into my YouTube. This is the automatic YouTube. When I open my thing, look at all my shit. Look, I got Neopets, Twitch, the Neopets database. I got fucking health insurance, Twitter, VGen, Neopets again, Cupcake. That's how I get to my YouTube. I listen to this song once a day now because that's how I get to my YouTube. Fuck me. In his ass till his butthole goes numb. West in his ass, north in his ass, east in his ass, most definitely in his ass. Yes, yes, Kanye West, he likes fingers in his ass. Kanye West, he likes fingers in his ass. Kanye West, he likes fingers in his ass. He likes big fingers in his. Kanye West, he likes fingers in his ass. Kanye West, he likes fingers in his ass. Kanye West, he likes fingers in his ass. He likes big fingers in his. Kanye West, he likes fingers in his ass. Kanye West, he likes fingers in his ass. Kanye West, he likes fingers in his ass. Kanye likes fingers in his. Kanye West, he likes fingers in his ass. Fingers, 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 fingers in his ass. Kanye West, he likes fingers in his ass. He likes fingers in his hole. Asshole. Asshole. Ass. Fingers, 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 fingers in his hole. It's the way I had been listening to this song before it became a meme. And when it became a meme, I was like, what the fuck?
Man, fuck Kanye right now. Tell you, man, I so distraught. Fucking Triple Q got his channel taken down. Some old horse shit, man.
Actually, since Gore asked, the most out-of-pocket thing I have is by the same man. And it's... Hold on. Fingers in the booty ass bitch. Fingers in the booty ass bitch. It's probably this. Hey, I just got back into Neopets after like a 10-year hiatus. I'm enjoying the Neopets streams. It's like a whole side of the community I haven't experienced before. Hey, it's nice to meet you. I'm also getting back into Neopets after like a 10-year hiatus. So, I get it. Actually, a friend of mine, Boo, is the one. She's also a VTuber. She also got me. Also, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Dog Pound. I got myself all jittered, all confuzzled. But my friend Boo actually got me back into Neopets recently. And I was like, you know what? You're goddamn right. And so here I am. I know it's not the most popular stream category, but I like it. I like being here. It's nice to make you drink. Nice to make you meet you. I swear. Oops, sorry. Actually, Third Word, did you want to listen to Squidward's Nose? I'll do that for you. 1 second. 1 second, love. I just rewound it. Hold on. I've got too many. I've got too many things up. All right. Welcome back. Just for you, Third Word, since you requested it. Jesus, it's loud. Sorry. Cupcake, it's loud as hell. I'm trying to get this trophy. I might already have it, though. I haven't actually bothered to look.
His dick smaller than my toes.
Yeah, smaller than my toes. I don't know, it's something about playing a kid's game while listening to Cupcake that just sits weirdly on my soul. I do, yes. I'm currently wanting to fully revamp her setup here. I need to paint him to pastel and then get another loop that I can zap toy. She is my current zapper, so she's probably gonna... but I'm trying to get a Psy Bunny for my daughter. And then I think that's it right now. Oh, I want to get a fairy paintbrush for her because right now she's still under speckled. So I want it to say that her color is fairy. Can y'all hear me over Cupcake? Jesus. She is so loud. god! It's a challenge. Fuck, alright. I turned it down. I turned it down. She is so loud. I'm so sorry. Plus, I pushed the wrong button. What was I looking for? Yeah, I've got 3rd place at Sekmek Solitaire. I got a relic from a Nerkmid. Oh, I love the relic paintbrushes though. I have a bunch of Neopets that I want, but I need to spend some actual cash to get more slots. Because I always like having a slot for a zapping pet. I really enjoy zapping. So. Alright. More. Can't anymore. Going back to my other music. This song always gets muted for copyright. Yeah. It's lame that you can't trade. Yeah, I agree. But it is what it is, I guess. Hold on, I'm looking for more music. We're gonna listen to some new stuff together. Apple bottom jeans is always a classic. We're gonna listen to some. We're gonna listen to some new stuff. Y'all are gonna help me find new weird music while I play solitaire, trying to get that trophy that I want. I love that y'all are just dancing away. Oh my goodness. Why is solitaire in Neopets so much harder than normal solitaire? What is up with that? Also, what does the whole web page have to reload just to move a card? Not well implemented. Who listened to the song and went, this would sound good with Earth, Wind, and Fire? These people are naturally gifted in a way I could never understand. Because they're not wrong. It doesn't sound bad. That's not bad. Oh my god. That's crazy. That's crazy. There's no way. That's insane. Hold on, I'm adding this. That's a banger. That's crazy. Okay. We found a certified banger, chat. Certified banger. I love that my Neopet streams are just us, finding new music together while I play solitaire. That's crazy. Oh my god. Alright, I'll wait for the ad break to be done before I switch songs. Hi Tagorn, how are you? Sorry, I had a mental break for a second there. I'm doing good. How are you? Finally making it to my second drink. We're just relaxing, playing Neopets, having a grand time. Oh my god, that's crazy. But no, I'm doing good. I hope you're doing alright. Oh, thank you for the stretch. Making me relive 20 years ago for Neopets. Yeah. I've been doing that for a lot of people lately. It's like we never start out playing Neopets. We actually started playing Elden Ring today. But then anytime I get tired of whatever game we're playing at the time, I'm like, let's play some Neopets. And off stream. And then we sit and play Neopets for like an hour and a half. I am trying to prep for the DLC. Yes, actually. Huh? I don't know how I feel about this one, so we're gonna move on. Okay. 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 Get it. Get it. Okay, this one kind of slaps. Well, let's see if it stays slapping. Sorry, I was waiting for the ad break to be over before I started skipping music again. Some of these are really good. Oh, I love the bird dance. I should get another mascot that's also a bird, because birds are my favorite animal on this earth. I actually tossed around the idea of being a bird VTuber, but I felt wolves or dogs matched me as a person much better. So, but I might get another mascot that's a bird. No, you're good. You're good. I probably won't be live whenever you in stream. I'm actually probably gonna get off here myself in a little bit so I can shower before bed. But I appreciate you coming by for a little bit. It was nice to see you again. Okay, we're moving on. Ugh. What's going on? It's alright, it's alright. We're all good. But I promise I will. I'm still recovering from a fall yesterday, so I will definitely take a nice bath and go to bed. My thighs are like, that's no! Oh, I messed it. My thighs are green from recovering bruises, so. I know the new episode of Apothecary Diaries just came out yesterday, but I want another episode. Please and thank you. Okay, I don't know if you were there when I was talking about it, but I have a baby gate up in front of my bedroom door because the cat has her food in my bedroom. And my mother-in-law's dog likes to eat her food. So to keep the dog out of the bedroom, I have a gate up. Well, I was folding laundry while Bunny was playing in her crib. And she started fussing because she wanted to be held. And I was like, all right, cool. I gotta take this laundry to the bathroom anyways, because it was towels. I was like, I gotta take these towels to the laundry anyways, so I'll just scoop you and we'll go put the towels up together, and then we'll go play. We'll go play on the floor in the living room. No biggie. So I scooped her and then grabbed the towels. Well, I couldn't see over the towels and the baby to see how high I needed to step over the baby gate. And I was like, whatever, I step over it all the time. Like, I know how high I need to step. So I just fucking blue balls it with no vision. No vision. And I stepped over the baby gate, and did not step high enough and immediately tripped over the baby gate. But the thing is that the baby gate's not like in the wall. It's just like leaned up in the doorway, propped up. So if the dog tries to push past it, they can't because like it'll bump on the door frame. But you know, that means whenever you're leaving the bedroom, it's very easy to knock over. Like if your foot like grazes it, it will knock over and you have to pick it back up. And so I trip over it full force and I immediately dropped the laundry and put both hands on Bunny, and I took the whole fall to my knees and my thighs. And the baby gate fell over on top of my legs and like completely fucked him. Bunny was fine, never even touched the ground. Bunny just turned 1 earlier this month. But yeah, and so I just, you know, I grabbed her with both hands real quick so that she wouldn't hit the ground, and she didn't. She landed on my lap very comfortably. Didn't even realize what the hell had just happened. Immediately was squirming to get off my lap so she could go crawl into her grandma's bedroom to go play with her. But I was sitting on the floor and I was like, ow! Especially with my heart issues. My heart issues make my blood flow weird. So it hurt immediately. Oldest is 18, my youngest is 10. Ugh. I'm not ready for that to come. We're planning on having another one once we're in our own place and we can financially support a second baby. But we wanna buy a house first, so we're working our asses off to buy a house so that we have their own space that they don't ever have to worry about moving out of. Hi Wobble, how are you? We just don't ever want our kids to feel like they move all the time and so they can't make friends, you know? So we want to own a house to hopefully limit us moving unless like we absolutely need to. So we're that's the goal, is eventually to buy a house, hopefully within like the next like, I don't want to have a second one until Bunny's like 3 or 4. So hopefully around then we'll be in a place of our own where we feel stable and secure and we can have another one. But I only want 2. So enjoy the non-speech. When they can talk is where the fun ends. Oh, I'm so excited for her to talk though. She babbles and like tries to repeat words, but I am so excited for her to like speak. Like she says mama sometimes when she's mad and it's the cutest thing ever. But I'm so ready for it. But also the idea of her being a teenager one day scares me. Not because I'm afraid of teenagers. I think having a teenager is going to be so much fun, but just because I'm afraid of her growing up that fast. But by the time she's 20, I'll be 43. I had her at 23. So that's not too bad, honestly. Me and my mom are 20 years apart too, so I've got a young mom who's still like hip with the kids and does shit. I say hip with the kids, she's not. She's crazy. I love her though. She ain't hip with no kid. She tries. I do love that about her. Yeah, no, my mom got pregnant with me when she was 19, had me when she was 20. So, and then I had Bunny when I was 23 and I turned 24 a week after she was born. So, I'd be 43, 44 when she turns 20. That ain't bad. You already listened to this. Oh yeah, Gore is so excited for her to talk. Gore is ready for her to just, like, prattle away. But Gore's used to it. He listens to me all day, and I never shut up. He's been listening to me all day for like 10 years, and I don't ever shut the fuck up. So, he's used to it. Oh, good night, Wobble. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Just, mwah, hello, good night. Gore is so built different. It's so true because I am not easy to deal with in person. I am a menace. I was 23 when I had my daughter Lillian. Oh, Lillian's such a pretty name. I love that. I have a grandmother whose name was Lily, but somebody else already used that name, so we ended up not using it. The only issue is when you have grandmothers with names, everybody wants to use the name. Lily is her name in short. Yeah, I love that. I have a cousin that is named after my grandma. So, Chad's husband strong. So true. Why is Gore built so different? He really do just be putting up with my ass. I'm the only one that calls her that. That's fair. I only pick short names for my kids. I don't know why. I don't talk about Bunny's name, like, publicly, just because, like, I'm a public figure, and I'm not, like, famous, but I'd hate to one day blow up and everybody... Like, I'd hate to call her by name and get chat accustomed with her, only to blow up and then have to delete all of that from the internet, you know? For her safety. I just feel like it's not fair to give that and then have to take it away later, so I just haven't given it at all. That's why we all call her Bunny. But I talk about my first baby because she passed on. And I talk about her name, and her name's Echo, so it's super short. E-C-H-O. Super short to the point. And my current daughter's name is around that same amount of letters. So it's just quick and... Oh yeah, no, Bunny has come and sat in my lap and talked and, you know, like babbled in my mic. And I don't mind that, but I don't really post photos of her. I don't post photos of her on social media, at least not of her face now that she's, like, becoming a toddler and her face isn't just baby anymore. And I don't call her by name. But Gore hangs out on my streams all the time. Gore's my husband. He hangs out on my stream all the time. And he's always around. You know, he's my mod. Me and him have done streams together. He'll come in here and hang out with me sometimes. So, I just would hate to blow up one day and suddenly the whole world knows all this information about my daughter, including, like, her name, face, and all that kind of stuff. So it's more like a caution in the unlikely case that I ever do become famous. If that makes any sense. Sorry, I'm just skipping through music. I'm trying stuff. Oh, my head hurts. I might call it quits here in a minute. This is not going the way I wanted it to go. I'm not even gonna lie with y'all. Oh, I have nowhere to put that for. Of course not. Why would I? Any of y'all solitaire gods? I'm not. Alright, let's go back to our just chatting stream for a minute. Do I still have Elden Ring open? No. Should I? Should I still have Elden Ring open? Oh, no, I don't. Okay. I think I'm gonna do a raid. I'm so sleepy. Being up all night with a baby will do that to you. Alright, let's see. Who are we gonna raid? But I'll probably see y'all tomorrow. Tomorrow I think I'm gonna play some Hades. Take a break, try something new. And let's see. Who can I stream live right now that I know? Okay, update. Nobody that I know and am close to is live right now. So what we gonna do is we are going to go to the VTuber tag. If I can find it. There it is. And we're just gonna do what we used to do, where we sort low to high, and we just raid a rando. So let's see. Let's find somebody who looks like they're doing something interesting. That's Spanish. I don't know how many of y'all speak Spanish. You wanna watch some Lethal Company? I love Lethal Company. Yeah. They're an English VTuber. A really pretty looking dragon design. I actually really dig it. They're playing Lethal Company with some friends. Their name is Now. Currently at 0 viewers, so you guys are going to be their only viewers right now. So be good. Behave. I'm expecting y'all to behave. Y'all better be good. It was super fun to meet you. Everybody be nice. Be good. Mwah. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Probably for some Hades. Alright, let me give you all one last kiss. Goodbye. Mwah. Mwah. I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.